BodyBags, where horror lies.
Hey, I'm Sam, I'm your Thursday guy for BodyBags, and this week I am doing, well, here's the thing. It's not a movie, well, it's a documentary, okay? And it's about a movie, or better yet, how the movie was made, of probably the most classic horror movie that was different at the time and spawned all these other horror movies, or actually a genre of horror movies. Because, well, you see, the term zombie, right? Whenever you first heard that, in like the 30s and 40s, you would always think voodoo stuff, you know, because voodoo, you know, witchcraft, bringing dead people to life to be slaves and, you know, whatever. And, you didn't really expect anything else. Here comes my guy, George Romero, John Russo and company, and they came together and was like, how about we make this movie, kind of like I Am Legend, you know, but, you know, our version, I guess, of that, and make a movie, because here's the thing. George Romero was a college dropout who ended up in the commercial business, and at some point was like, you know what, I just want to make a movie. And here he is made. At the time, it seemed like it was a bad movie. Turned out to be one of the best horror movies out there. Night of the Living Dead. If you watch the trailer for that movie, I'm pretty sure there's like 4 spots where they're like Night of the Living Dead, and it's like after it, it's like this like or whatever, I don't know, some weird like transition music. This is funny. I'm pretty sure it's that. I'm pretty sure that's like the first thing I remember of that. Anyways, point is, I'm not going to tell you everything, obviously, about it. I basically told you right now, or, you know, right then, however you want to say it, what this movie documentary is about. And it's about how George Romero, how John Russo and company, how they made Night of the Living Dead. In which case, they basically searched everywhere in the Pittsburgh area for people that wanted to be in it, for investors, for ... And they ended up kind of like the smallest budget out there. And that farmhouse that the movie takes place in, everyone that was working on it lived there. So like if you needed to take a shower, just go to the river, take a bath, basically. Which, you know, it's up north. Must have been super cold. Anyway. Some of the main things that I wanted to talk about, because I'm not going to rate this because it's a documentary. It's not like an actual movie. So it's only a couple things I want to talk about it. And that's that, well, first, I already knew the general idea. I just wanted to maybe hear some details that maybe I didn't know. Or some, you know, facts about the movie when it came out, and, you know, the general public's reaction to it. And it's so weird that, like, a lot of the movies that we love now, you know, cult classics like Night of the Living Dead or The Thing, or, you know, movies like that, when they first came out, people didn't like it that much. And it's like, you know, it was born in the wrong time, wrong generation kind of thing. But it's like it was, though. I mean, it takes place then. It's those people. It's, you know, etc. Whatever. But it's just weird. Well, not weird, it's just funny. That time period, you know, the late 60s, there's Vietnam, there's civil rights. So basically, in general, everyone's angry. You know, in the U.S., everyone's angry about everything. And, they made an angry movie that's different from other movies, or at least at the time was different than other movies. Like the ending, like some of the kills in the movie. Or like the first time, you know, like, wow. Like I remember the first time I watched this movie. It was a long time ago, but I remember the first time I was like, oh my god, whoa, dude, because it's just different. I was like, whoa. It's like, I don't know how to explain it. It's just, maybe I wasn't terrified, maybe I wasn't scared, but I was like, wow, that's different, that's crazy, kind of thing, you know, what happens in the movies. And, you know, I'm sure that people that, like, watch, like, trauma movies or whatever, and they go and watch Night of the Living Dead for the first time, and they're like, oh, it's so good. They're not so good, but like, oh my god, ah. And they're not even thinking, you know, they're not even thinking like, oh my god, what did I just watch? This is brutal, because they already watch all those brutal movies anyways. But a couple of things, I guess. When they wrote the script, the movie as you know it right now was the original script. So when they found the actors to do it, when they found, I think it was Dwayne Jones. That might not be his name. The black actor that plays Ben. That like just happened to be him. It wasn't that they wrote the script and were like, you know what, that would make sense, you know, if it's him, because, you know, the ending and just everything in general. It just happened to be him. He ended up being a good fit for it, and, you know, final product, I think he was. My only problem with this movie is that, well, with the movie in general, if there was to be a problem, is that I don't really like seeing political stuff in movies. But the thing is that when they made this movie, they weren't trying to make a movie with politics, or maybe there's this message in it, but it's like, right, they're not trying to like bash you over the head with it or whatnot. But it's like they made a movie and then people took it and ran with it when it came to that. So it's like whenever I talk to someone about it, that kind of pops up and I'm like, I just made a movie. So, right? But the one thing though that they were talking about at the end, or towards the end of the documentary, where they're talking about the ending of the movie, is that the people that are killing the zombies at the end and the zombies themselves practically are basically the same thing. Which is like, the general idea of the movie is that, you know, the people that are in the house are like your working class, you know, citizen, you know, and like the zombies are like, I forget the analogy. Oh crap! I forgot the analogy. Dang it! But like the idea was that, you know, like the zombies and the people killing the zombies at the end of the movie are like gobbling up everything. You know, you're gonna join them or, you know, basically die kind of thing. Except, you know, if you're getting a zombie, you're joining them whether you want to or not, kind of thing. But I guess the last thing before I'm done is that some of the reactions that they were talking about when the movie hit the theaters, kids were crying and like scared and everything. And I'm like, technically speaking, that's kind of that's what I want to aim for when I'm making a movie. I want to scare someone, unless I'm just making some 80s style cheesy slasher movie. Then I'm just making a movie for fun, right? But it's funny. There's this like sub thing in the movie where it's this teacher and his class, and they're like, I guess he's like a film teacher, and they're going over Night of the Living Dead, watching it in class, and his kids, you know, like 5th, 6th graders kind of thing. That's what it looked like, and they're watching. I was like, yeah, zombies, yeah. But when the movie first came out, you know, kids were like, I can't sleep for weeks now, like, you know, actually scared, crying, and whatever. And it's just weird seeing that parallel. And I suppose, you know, you could say that over time, with the further that movies end up going, desensitized, people will just end up being more and more desensitized, I suppose, which I don't think is really like a bad thing, because if we end up going in like some kind of war or whatever, at least, you know, people won't be throwing up, I guess, or, you know, sick, or, you know, maybe scared because, you know, oh my god, I might die. But like if they see like some guy who's like missing his legs, they're not gonna go and be like, they're gonna be like, oh, that's like that movie, except they won't be smiling. It's like, oh my god, I saw that from that movie. Or, you know, I don't know. Point is that it seems, you know, over time people get desensitized, which may or may not be a good thing. But I think that's a fact. people get more desensitized just over time, which is something I guess to look at. But anyway, it was very interesting. It's like an hour and 20-ish minutes long. It's on Tubi, and the ads actually didn't seem like they were that bad. There was like maybe 3 or 4 ads. It was like every 20 minutes. So yeah, if you want, you know, you can check it out. Maybe have it on in the background or fall asleep to it. You know, well, if you fall asleep to it on Tubi, just, you know, be careful, because like sometimes weird movies end up turning on. Like you wake up at like 2 in the morning, and it's like some weird horror movie that's like just off. And it's like, okay, I'll turn it off now. But anyways, I'm Sam. I'm your Thursday guy for BodyBags, and I'll see you next week. Goodbye.